Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the NetSuite podcast. I'm your host, Kendall Fisher, and on this episode, I'm chatting with our outbound product manager for NetSuite CRM, Laralyn Ellsworth. We'll discuss some of the big challenges businesses typically face with CRM, including siloed data and manual processes, which have only become more problematic in today's business environment. We'll then dive into NetSuite CRM, how the tool grows with the evolving needs of your business, and why being part of the unified suite presents a competitive edge when it comes to acquiring and retaining customers. Laralyn will also unveil our all-new SuiteSuccess CRM add-on, which includes CRM roles and dashboards, and a CRM Workbooks SuiteApp. She'll dive into those roles and why they're beneficial, as well as the KPIs and topics included in the Workbook app. Finally, she'll explain which customers and businesses are a good fit for the add-on, which are not, and what to look forward to at SuiteWorld from NetSuite CRM overall. Stay tuned, that's coming up next.
You're listening to the NetSuite podcast, where we discuss what's happening within NetSuite, why we're doing it, and where we're heading in the future. We'll dive into the details about the software and the people at NetSuite who are behind all the moving parts. We'll also feature customer growth stories, discussing the ups and downs of running a company and how one integrated system can help your business continue to scale.
Hi, Laralyn. Thank you so much for joining the NetSuite podcast.
Hi, Kendall. Thanks for having me.
So we're going to start this actually super high level for any listeners that either don't know or need a little refresher. What is customer relationship management and how do most businesses go about handling it?
Customer relationship management, which we abbreviate CRM, really refers to any system that is used to keep track of current, potential, and past customers, and all of the tasks, notes, contact info, and so on for each of them. So it's really just any system that you use to manage your customer relationships. It can also include records of things like purchases, meetings, agreements, whatever information your business needs to know in the future about that customer. And most businesses will initially start off using a mix of things like spreadsheets, just looking back at their past email and keeping a lot of records in their email, sometimes sticky notes, other documents, and even paper files to do this. And even though those are a wide mix of things, it's still a system, even if it's not the most efficient system. And that's what we call data silos. Those are disconnected places where you're storing related information that ideally would be kept all together so that it was cross-referenceable. But instead, your data ends up all over the place. It's very messy. It's hard to access, hard to update, and difficult to share.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great segue into what my next question was going to be is what challenges come with doing CRM that way, especially I would ask in today's current business climate.
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to mind is that most businesses, of course, now have at least some remote-based or location-flexible employees, even though many companies also have people back in the office now. But let's say that you do have a remote-based salesperson or somebody who wants to work from home a few days a week. If your customer records are kept in a filing cabinet or maybe stored on a folder on one person's computer and sometimes sent via email attachment, your team won't be able to collaborate unless they're all in the office together. And even for teams that keep everything online and share files using something like Google Drive or Dropbox or SharePoint, using a spreadsheet or another type of online document to track crucial customer information is very risky. Your customers are arguably your business's most valuable asset. You don't want to lose track of them. So with spreadsheets, you might end up having multiple versions floating around and you don't know if yours is the up-to-date one, or you worry that someone else on the team is referencing and updating an outdated version. It's also very hard to control who can edit the data if you're just using a document that people can edit as they please. It's hard to enforce rules about the quality of the data, like what goes into the spreadsheet or into the document. It's definitely not mobile friendly. I don't know if you've ever tried editing a spreadsheet from your cell phone. I have. It's not easy. And then there are often simply too much data to put into a single spreadsheet because you have a lot of information that you'll want to track about your customers. So employees end up having to open many different files in order to find what they need. And that's not efficient for them. And maybe also, you have one document for addresses and another for past orders, and another for meeting notes and so on. So not only is it very inefficient, but it also creates a risk of losing important information or not seeing the right note at the right time that you need.
And I know you said, like, while this may not be a super efficient system or a system that, is able to really scale as a business scales, can we talk about what an actual CRM system does to help kind of solve these data silos, as you call them, and some of the challenges that come with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when people say CRM, they could be referring to however they manage their customer relationships and their customer data, but typically they're referring to a type of software. And CRM software gives your business a dedicated and purposeful space in which to store all of those names and email addresses and order histories and follow-up tasks. And the benefit is that everybody is logging into the same cloud-based application. Everybody's on the same page when it comes to the status of deals in the pipeline or quotes that need to be accepted or calls that need to be made. You can see what's going on because there's a single source of truth with real-time data. So you can support your team and provide accountability for your employees as they're working to build new relationships. And then, of course, you want to know if all of your hard work is producing the desired results, right? So many CRMs also come with reporting options that can help you track things like your sales pipeline, your revenue, your sales forecasting quotas, individual and team sales performance, lead conversion rates, and on and on. So a CRM software is really providing a home for those customer relationships where everything is kept all together and everybody has the same access to the real information.
Right. No matter where you are, like you said, whether you're in office or remote, or both, like many companies are right now. Mm-hmm. So then how does NetSuite's CRM differ from a basic CRM system? What do we offer that others do not?
Well, a lot of CRMs are built to serve one particular industry, whether it's, could be manufacturing, could be furniture sales, or they're built to accommodate one particular type of selling or sales methodology. And so some are good for products, others are good for services. But the thing is that businesses don't always only sell the same thing that they originally sold. They don't always keep selling in the same way. And so NetSuite CRM is great because it can work for any type of business, both now and in the future of that business, because its out of the box functionality is very broad. It can do a lot of things, but we take all that potential and turn it into something that is incredibly specific for your individual business using our SuiteSuccess editions. SuiteSuccess editions are implementation standards where our professional services teams will turn on the right features and turn off the unnecessary ones based on what your business needs. And so let's say, for example, that your business is in the health and beauty sector, and all of your sales are right now through an e-commerce site. There is a SuiteSuccess edition of NetSuite for that. But maybe after a few years, things are going really well, and you expand into retail. And then maybe a few years later, you vertically integrate and start doing your own manufacturing. Mm-hmm. If you had started off with a CRM that was just specifically for product sales online, and that's all it was good for, you'd be having to look for new software every couple of years to keep up with what you're doing. But with NetSuite, you don't have to change because we have SuiteSuccess editions that are also built for those additional use cases. So you can stick with NetSuite and it will grow and adapt as you grow and pivot your business.
Absolutely. And we are able to do that because if we've done it for one customer, we've done it for, tens of thousands of customers, 29,000 customers all over the globe. We've been able to create our solution and modify it according to all of, like you said, all of those different moments of growth or milestones.
That's right.
So then taking that a step further, actually, what's the benefit of being all part of one business suite? How does that really, further expand our CRM offering?
That's a great question, because this is what makes NetSuite CRM really unique, is that NetSuite CRM is just one part of NetSuite. I already, for example, mentioned e-commerce and in-store as two types of customer experiences that a customer of a NetSuite, a business that runs on NetSuite might have. businesses that aren't run on NetSuite, they would need separate solutions for each of those. So they would need an e-commerce site builder, and they would need a way to manage online transactions. And then in brick and mortar retail, you need a point of sale system. And behind all of that, you'd need CRM and you'd need inventory management and all of that. But NetSuite covers all of that all together, and it's the same database. So when somebody in your store wants to log in and see a customer's past orders, they're looking at the same records that somebody in your on your inventory team is looking at. So you don't have to go shopping every time you need software for a new area of your business. A lot of our customers come to NetSuite to manage their financials as their first step. So they start out with our ERP. So now their accounting and order and inventory management and warehouse operations and supply chain are all run on NetSuite. And so at that point, that means that your products and your customer records already have a home in NetSuite. So then if you're ready to get started on your CRM journey and let's say your sales rep needs access to a customer's order history, all they need is a user login, and they can jump in and see who bought what, make recommendations for complementary products or services, create a quote, and schedule tasks to follow up in a week. So they don't have to set up a new system in order to start using CRM. And talking about data silos at the beginning, that's really the problem that NetSuite is solving. Everything is kept in one home and nobody's left in the dark. And so your teams get all the functionality they need, and you get the efficiency of updates that one person makes being immediately visible across the entire organization. And nobody's missing out on the data that is going to help them do their best at their job.
Right. Well, and that, that brings me to, we see a lot of our customers have come over from QuickBooks, for example, in which you are pulling, it's almost like reading yesterday's newspaper, like you're pulling data from the day before, right? And then, and you don't have the most recent data. And therefore that can mess with, for example, your inventory levels or what have you.
That's right.
So instead of pulling it out and then, combining it into a report, and then you're looking at it the next day, it's all updated in real time. And that kind of, again, another segue into the current business landscape. I know I mentioned this earlier, and the challenges that might come with, working with siloed data, having a bunch of manual processes, but how are our customers using our CRM tool to deal with the current business landscape?
Yeah, this has been something that I've really enjoyed talking to our customers about over the past couple of years, because if, for our customers that were already on NetSuite CRM, they took the pandemic in stride, and that they've been growing. They haven't been struggling to keep up. But companies that didn't have CRM in early 2020, they struggled to keep their sales operations running smoothly. I've talked to people who were not on NetSuite CRM who told me that they literally could not do parts of their job because they needed the sticky notes stuck to their monitor back in the office. And you can imagine how that made me feel.
Yeah.
But our customers that are using NetSuite to manage their sales, their customer service, even their partner relationships, they were ahead of the curve. They were ready to go. When everything is in the cloud, it doesn't matter if you have to work from home or you have to suddenly fly across the country for a meeting. You can just keep rolling because everything you need is in your CRM, and you don't have to miss a beat. And besides that, of many changes that were brought about by the COVID work environment was that we've seen a big change in how people actually shop. So we don't just buy shoes and Christmas presents online at this point. We buy our groceries, our toilet paper, our kitchen remodel supplies, our home gym equipment, and our business supplies all online if we can. And if we can't, maybe we find a new vendor. So buyers expect that your business, whatever it is online, and that they can place orders efficiently without having to get on the phone with you because they might not be working at the same time that you do. And if they do want to call you, they expect that you are going to know everything about their history with you. They don't want to repeat their shipping address. They don't want to say, I want to reorder, the thing I ordered last time, and have you say, what was that? They want you to know what their history looks like with your business, and have you make informed recommendations about what they should buy next.
Right.
So businesses really have to embrace omni-channel marketing, sales, and customer service in this current environment. And so they have to have a CRM that has real-time information, both about the customer and also about their product or service availability. And NetSuite is making that possible.
Absolutely. I know, we talked a lot. We've talked in the past a lot about customer acquisition costs, but another huge thing you need to know is your customer retention costs and maintaining your customer base. And that's something that I personally have talked to our customers about as well, especially those who use our CRM, and how that really helps them navigate those changes and the changes in shopping styles and keep those costs down, basically.
That's right.
What are hundreds of startups valued at over $1 billion using to gain visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting? And why should your business care? The answers are at netsuite.com/code. netsuite.com/code.
So I want to get into what we're here to discuss. What is new with our CRM offering, and why are we rolling this out right now?
Yeah, so what we've just released is what we're calling the CRM add-on. It is a new SuiteSuccess bundle that includes CRM roles and dashboards and a CRM Workbooks SuiteApp. It has been created for customers who need more robust CRM capabilities than were included in previous SuiteSuccess editions. And the CRM add-on combines Salesforce automation, marketing automation, and customer service management leading practices, along with CRM related roles and pre-built dashboards. And that's all in a single activation scope. And we're rolling this out because we've been working on collecting feedback from our customers about what they would like to see improved and added to NetSuite CRM to make it more powerful. And so this is the product of that effort.
As is always the case when we roll out kind of new functionality for our product. Love to hear that. Okay, so I'm going to dive into each of those areas a little bit. First, sure. What roles are included in the SuiteSuccess CRM add-on, and why is this super important to note?
Yeah, so there are 4 roles that each have a matching dashboard associated with them. So those roles are sales manager, sales representative, marketing manager, and customer service representative. And so each of those roles, which can be assigned to a user of NetSuite, will each have their own dashboard that is designed specifically for the typical day-to-day activities and reporting needs of that role. And why this is important is because having your CRM individualized to each user is the best way to improve adoption and usage of your tool. So you can have a perfectly configured CRM, but if nobody's using it, it's not that useful, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, the best way to make sure that people are using it is that when they log in, they see very first thing, information that is relevant to their day-to-day job. So it can become the home base for managing their tasks and activities. So it's very important that when you hand a new user a NetSuite login, that when they log in, it's going to be set up for their job, for what they're doing at your company. It should reflect what's most important to them, and not what's most important to somebody else on another team. And so these CRM roles are a prepackaged way of making sure that each of your sales, marketing, and support users have everything they need at their fingertips, and they won't have to go digging for their most used features. They will be there on the front page, so to speak.
Okay, so it makes sense to have obviously different roles for different teams, but what's the benefit of having different dashboards for sales reps versus sales managers?
So sales reps and sales managers have different priorities and goals, and their day-to-day work looks different. Sales reps want to focus on immediate tasks like who to call next, who they are meeting with today, and what deals in their pipeline need attention so that they can get to closing. Because sales reps are the ones that are going door to door or making phone calls or calling people and saying, hey, let's sign on the dotted line.
Right.
So they're very focused on their individual contributions. They might be keeping a friendly eye on the person in the chair next to them out of a little healthy competition, but really they're worried about themselves and whether they're meeting their quota. So they need to see stuff about their deals in their pipeline and their leads that they need to follow up on. Sales managers, on the other hand, are focused on the whole team. They have several different sales reps to keep track of and to support, and then they will also have team level goals. So they are looking at things like, who are my top performers versus who is struggling and needs my help?
Right.
Is my team's forecast matching up with our sales goals? Is the marketing team filling our pipeline with qualified leads? Are we keeping up with everything, or do I need to hire so that we can respond to estimate requests more quickly? So when a sales manager logs in, they're going to see a more team-focused dashboard that will help them, help the entire sales team perform.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay. Switching gears here a little bit. What's included in the CRM Workbooks SuiteApp?
The CRM, it's a tongue twister. The SuiteSuccess
Right. I know. CRM Workbooks SuiteApp.
Yeah. It includes 10 pre-built suite analytics workbooks, and those are focused on sales performance KPIs. So I'll just go down the list of them so you can know what's included. So those are monthly opportunities, looking at won versus lost, the top monthly open opportunities, top 5 monthly opportunities won, the opportunity forecast, the monthly open quotes, monthly quotes to sales conversion, top activities by sales rep, top customers by sales, top reps by sales, and the sales rep transaction detail and summary.
Yes, we actually talked about our suite analytics workbooks on a recent live. So for those of you who are tuning in, you can go check that out on YouTube. But we talked about how we came up with the topics for our various products for those workbooks. So I'm curious to hear how we went about that for our CRM workbooks. How did we decide upon these topics and KPIs?
These were actually chosen based specifically on requests and feedback from our customers about the types of reports that they use the most or want easy access to, and also with help from our internal CRM experts who provide guidance and research on CRM leading practices. So I'm on our CRM product team, which is full of people that have tons of CRM experience working with all different types of customers across industries. And then we also have experts at NetSuite who are vertical specific. So they go deep with one particular vertical and learn what the CRM needs are from a particular type of customer. And so we've spent a while listening to the ways that people use NetSuite and where they want to see the CRM reporting capabilities expand. And so these are the new reports that we've built based on that research.
Makes sense. Okay. So when we're looking high level here, what kind of customer or business would be a good fit for the SuiteSuccess CRM add-on?
If you are an existing NetSuite customer, but you didn't have CRM features activated in your original implementation, and you want to start using NetSuite for sales, marketing, or support, then the CRM add-on will be ideal for you. If you've used NetSuite CRM a little bit in the past, but perhaps you'd like to update your roles and dashboards so that you're leveraging the suite effectively and following leading practices, then the add-on might also be right for you. It's really meant for people that are pretty new to the CRM game in NetSuite and are ready to get their team set up for success with the CRM features inside of the suite.
Yeah. What about for brand new NetSuite customers?
If a new NetSuite customer is getting a SuiteSuccess edition that doesn't include CRM features in the base activation, which is something that you could talk to your solution consultant about, and they want to get their sales, support, and marketing folks using NetSuite right away, then they can talk to their sales rep and their consultant about including the CRM add-on in the implementation, and then they could start using it from the beginning of their journey with NetSuite.
Got it. Okay. On the flip side here, I always have to ask this because I think it's important to know, is there anyone, any business, any customer who really wouldn't be a great fit for the SuiteSuccess CRM add-on?
Yeah, if customers are already using NetSuite CRM because their SuiteSuccess edition included CRM features in the past, they probably wouldn't benefit as much from adding this bundle. They might want to refresh, but if you're using NetSuite CRM and you're happy with it and your team is successful, then why mess with what works? But also some NetSuite customers may already be using it and integrating a third-party CRM provider. And if that's the case, then adding the CRM add-on would be redundant. And so you definitely don't want two CRMs. I'll always tell you to stick with what's working. And so if you already have a third-party CRM integrated with NetSuite, then this would not be something that you would need to add.
Got it. Thanks for that. Okay. So then when a customer does decide to include the CRM add-on, how does that all go down? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's no actual license cost for the SuiteSuccess CRM roles and dashboards add-on, which is fantastic because it is really just about the user cost and the professional services or advanced customer support hours that is required to activate it. So most customers will need to use some new user licenses because you're setting up CRM for the first time, presumably because there are people not currently using NetSuite that you would like to start using it. And so the two costs associated would be the activation hours required, and then however many new user licenses you would need in order to get those new users onto NetSuite. So and I should also mention that the CRM Workbooks SuiteApp is available at no cost. So that's great as well. So if a customer is interested in this, they should reach out to their account manager, their rep at NetSuite, and just mention that this is something they're interested in, and then they can go from there.
Wow. It's like you've been on this podcast before, even though you haven't, because that was my next question was going to be, okay, so who do we need to reach out to here? That's great. So your account manager or your solution consultant, to get moving on that. Thank you. Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm super excited about this. And I know you helped with me, when we worked on NetSuite TV together at SuiteWorld last year, but we just recently announced, SuiteWorld 2022 is coming in September. So I have to ask you, what kinds of things around CRM can we look forward to at SuiteWorld?
I'm so excited for SuiteWorld this year. It was so much fun last year. We had so many great customers come share their CRM experience with folks at SuiteWorld. And it's always an amazing opportunity to come learn how your peers are growing their businesses by leveraging the suite. And I just really like being in the room when the most exciting product announcements of the year are made. So I think that's a huge pull for a lot of people. Is they want to be there to find out ahead of everybody else what's coming next. As far as CRM goes, we have a lot of great sessions in the works focused on various aspects of CRM, including sales automation, case management for customer services teams, CRM trends across different industries, and a lot of other sessions that we're planning. So I would say if you're ready to dive deeper into CRM and get your team set up to use it successfully, I can't recommend SuiteWorld enough. It will be an opportunity to have a crash course on how to do it the right way, and you'll learn so much. And personally, my favorite thing about SuiteWorld is getting to meet our customers in person and sitting down with them over lunch and hear their stories and hear about all the different creative ways they're using NetSuite. I get to learn from them. I get to hear their feedback and their ideas and get inspired by how they're conquering unique challenges and achieving their business goals. It's a super fun time, and I cannot wait to see everyone there.
I could not agree more. You took the words right out of my mouth. It's the best. And I will definitely make sure to include a link to our SuiteWorld 2022 website for everyone to get more information on how to register. And if you have, any call for submissions, ideas, meaning if you have some ideas about how you're using NetSuite to really take your business to the next level, I'll provide that link as well. And with that, Laralyn, that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode and really shedding light onto CRM in general, but also what NetSuite offers and all the newness that's to come. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Kendall. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much to Laralyn Ellsworth for joining us and sharing all that's new with NetSuite CRM. And as promised, you can use the links in the description of this podcast episode to learn more. I also want to shout out to our editing crew over at Lampstand, and as always, all of you for tuning in. If you like what you learned, there is more where that came from. So be sure to subscribe to our channel, like and review this episode, and go give us a follow on social media. I've left some handy dandy follow links in the description of this episode, so you can go ahead and do that right now. Thank you, and cannot wait to chat with you again soon. Bye.
You just listened to the NetSuite podcast. Be sure to tune in every week with more NetSuite developments, stories, and insights into the benefits of one integrated system to help you run your business.